fourth round in the Bay Area is back where my poker career began, California Grand. In for 300, only got time for a quick 2-hour session, so no time to waste. I raise an under the gun limper to 20 from middle position with ace queen, and we end up going heads up to a flop, which comes 10-4-3 rainbow, super dry flop, and when it gets checked over to me, I put out a continuation bet. There's some merit to that play of maybe getting worse ace highs to call, but I think most of the time this should have been a check back. I could easily be ahead with decent showdown value of ace queen high, plus he could easily just fold those weaker aces. The limper doesn't fold, he check raises to 60. I could ship it in, try to get a 10 to fold that is trying to figure out where he's at, but I don't think that's too smart of an idea against an unknown player that might not ever fold top pair here. Easy decision, I let it go. Then also get shown a 10, which is what I expected. Dream scenario to quickly turn that around, pocket rockets on the button. I raise a different under the gun limper to 20, and we again go heads up to a flop. Easy bet, a little bigger this time because of the flush draw, and I get a call. Turn is a deuce, giving me now a gut shot straight draw. The main straight draw in 6-4 gets there, but very easy value bet still to get 10s and flush draws to call, especially with the shallower stack sizes. He calls again, only leaving a 1/3 pot size bet on the river, which is not my favorite card, queen of clubs completing the flush draw, but I feel it's safe when it gets checked to me to bet. I believe queen 10 or a mate flush would just go all in, so I put the rest in the middle to get a call from a different 10 besides queen 10 that doesn't want to fold with so much already in the middle. I can't really put him on a hand after he folds rather quickly, since I think a 10 would at least think about it, but I'm happy with the pot, from about as standard of a hand as you can get. Here I face a small open of 10 from a player that has been highly involved in the action so far, a call from an older senior regular as well. Plays pretty straightforward and a tight range. I call as well in the hijack with queen 10 of diamonds. I don't like a 3-bet since involved will very likely call, and I would just be bloating the pot with not a very strong holding. So I just call, and we go 6 ways to a king, king, jack, 2 spade, 1 diamond flop. It gets checked to me. I put out a bet with my open ender plus backdoor flush draw. It's a super multi-way pot, so I could of course check and look to hit my hand. After my bet, the button calls, who has been showing down many suited hands like jack 6, so he is very likely to have a flush draw. And it gets back to the senior citizen regular, who goes all in for about 100 more. He very likely has a king, and I'm not getting the odds to call with this draw on a paired board. The button also folds, claiming he did indeed have a flush draw. Up a tiny bit after that hand, then I got blinded away, not playing many hands until this very last hand before I had to go. The last free hand, I'm under the gun and pick up pocket jacks and open to 15. A super aggressive player that seems to just want to get involved in big pots and has lost a couple recently. He min raises to 30 and gets a cold call from a new player on the button. I'm loving this spot. Easy 4-bet, even more so with the short stack size from the 3-better. I make it 100 more and get a quick all-in from the 3-better for a whole $2 more. Then the button starts talking about he is behind but really wants to see the flop. Also asking if I can re-raise when the action gets back to me.
Nope.
I then jokingly let him know the extremely valuable information that I'm not folding if he does call. He chuckles a little bit and calls, and we're going 3 ways with $400 in the middle. I'm planning to just shove all in on most flops, even with 1 overcard. The horrendous 2 overcard flop of ace king 7 is one of the few flops I won't. Pretty much the worst flop I was looking for. The button, I believe, will very likely not fold a king if he just hit a pair, so this would be a value bet and way too thinly, since I won't get any better hands to fold. That means I check, and he goes all in. I'm getting almost 4-1, but don't see how I'd be getting those odds on a call. Having 2 jacks and the jack of diamonds eliminates many draws also. I make the frustrating fold. The board runs out diamond, diamond. I would have won, but 10-6 of diamonds from the shorter stack takes it down with a flush. Great spot pre-flop, but being a 9-1 underdog on the flop made folding the correct play. Do you like the way I played this hand? Should I have just raised bigger than 130 and maybe even shoved all in to get the pot heads up? I feel the hand was played well, and I actually want King 10 suited in there for $100 more with not much left behind, but let me know. You can see the table was good, but my time is up. I cash out for $141 after that last hand, in the red for $159. There is always tomorrow, though, which is now. I'm back for another short session, this time getting recognized by Seat 5. Chris lets me know he watches the vlog and is a fan. Maybe he was just saying that to be nice, but I'll take it. Chris raises from under the gun to 18 with the straddle on. Very strong. I call with position and pocket nines. Small blind also comes along. Flop looks pretty good for my hand in 10-10-6, 2 hearts. Chris bets again after the small blind checks. I feel him betting into both of us after raising from under the gun is very likely an overpair. I let it go, and Chris does end up flipping over pocket kings. I save some money there. Next up, I raise from early position to 20 with ace-queen after a player limps. I then get a call from the cutoff and a comment from the button. He verbalizes, don't want to be in the hand when this guy's in the hand. That sure gives me valuable information that in hand, to his direct right, is likely to have a strong holding, obviously. This is why you should be careful and keep comments like this about other players to yourself, especially during a hand. Flop looks great, I bet, and get a call. Turn is a 9, and if I didn't have that extra information, I would have just bet again to get stacks in against ace-jack and ace-10 that picked up straight draws. But now, it feels this player might fold hands like ace-10 offsuit preflop. He might possibly fold ace-jack here, since it looks like I'm representing at least a better ace. I check, not really sure where I'm at in this hand or what to do. If I saw a bet, I wasn't going anywhere, but it gets checked back. River changes everything. I expect ace-jack and especially ace-king to call, so I bet pretty big of 75, then get a mini speech about how he knows I have ace-queen, and he is just calling so I can talk about him on my vlog. He does show ace-king, very lucky there on the river, and he had me read pretty well. Good hand. The under the gun straddle is on with the first 3 players limping. I make it 40 to go, getting everyone to fold. When you play short sessions, you sometimes don't get that interesting of hands. I cash out here for a profit of $110, making my round at California Grand negative 49. I have one last round in the Bay Area next Friday night, where I'll be trying to get my revenge at Grayton Casino. San Francisco is kicking my ass so far. I only got one last shot to make a comeback.